airplane. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Check it out. That's right, we have the Avios C-130 V2. These are the schemes you can get it in. Here we have the US Coast Guard versions. You can also get a civilian transport version, which is really cool. Some of the specs here, it's got a 1600 millimeter wingspan. It's 1195 millimeters long. It says it weighs 2350 grams including battery. Obviously it's got 4 motors. It's got 4 speed controls, 4 propellers. So features here: improved slow flight performance, lower wing loading, flying weight reduced. Pretty awesome. You got your 2 stunning new schemes. Improved rudder configuration, simpler, lighter, more efficient. Reinforced control surfaces and nose. Improved trailing edge alignment durability. Pre-applied decals, operating cargo door, LED lights, retracts, all that cool stuff pre-installed. Pretty awesome. Let's open her up and see what you get. I did not have a V1, so I'm pretty excited about this one. So here's how it comes packaged. I've not, hope that didn't land in water, take anything out yet. I've been buried by a snowstorm here, so let me cut some of this tape loose and we'll start pulling things out. Alright, so the paper that fell on the ground was the quick setup guide. Shows you your throws, CG, stuff like that. I did some research and I never did find a good build video out there, so you're going to get that today with me. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm super excited for this. The cargo door, we got lots of fun stuff to drop out of there. So here's your right wing panel. Looks like you will have to hook up the aileron linkage. Flaps are hooked up, split flaps, very cool. Decals look good, the finish looks really nice. And it has real hinges in here, you're not just bending foam. I'll show you more on that very soon. I know some people are interested in how stuff comes packaged, so that's why I do this portion. If this is not interesting to you, let me know. Love to hear from you. Back here we've got a big carbon spar. Whole bunch of bits in here, spinners, I think. Yeah. They're the back plates for the spinners. Some other little pieces, I'm not sure where they go yet. Some rudder pieces and more pieces and some other pieces and pieces. Here's the propellers. Oh, those look great, guys. Look at that. I just love scale props. I mean, it's got the nomenclature on it. You know, the ice boots, de-ice boots, all that. Very cool. Seems to be packaged pretty well. Looks like everything made it so far. Here we have the left wing panel. Again, you have to put the aileron linkage on. Real hinges, not foam hinges. Nothing is cooler than that. I do notice here we have hard plastic bits on all the edges of stuff, even on the back edge of this flap. That's really nice for durability. Show you guys how things are layered here. So in here we have the horizontal. It's got an LED in the back. Again, real hinges, not just foam hinges. Very cool. You're going to have to put the linkages on there. I see we've got just a plug in here. We don't have to mess around with wires and routing wires. Here we have, looks like some drop tanks, fuel tanks, whatever the technical term would be for those. Here we have the big rudder. Again, real hinges in there, guys. Pretty awesome. Servo is in there. Have to put the linkage on that. Only thing left I see is the fuselage. Look at that. Paint on this is just just looks perfect. I mean, the white is the natural color of the foam, but like the orange and the gray and everything is just, it just doesn't get any better than that. Fantastic. All right, let me get everything out of the bag and on stands here, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so here's everything unpackaged. Lots of cool stuff here. I can't get over how cool these propellers look with the spinners, the nomenclature, all that stuff. Hope that focuses for you guys. Very cool. I love scale details like that. The rudder. Lots of parts here. All the bags are, you know, labeled perfectly, like, you know, main wing and rudder, aileron, yada yada, all that perfect. The elevators, horizontal. Real hinges, not fake hinges or, you know, foam hinges. Plug in for the rudder, and then, you know, quick easy plug in there. Gotta love that. The wings here, another thing I noticed, there's plastic bits here, so like when you take the wings off and on, you're not going to be denting foam. Plastic here, plastic edge here, plastic tip here. I mean, plastic tips here. There's a light on the front of the wing here. You guys can see there. Pretty cool. These things here must go in magnetically by the looks of it. I see a magnet in there. Yeah, other one's the same way. On the root there we have just quick plug-in connections. Doesn't get much easier, and then it must be 2 bolts per side there. Again with a spar, obviously. I was noticing the flaps were pretty cool. The inside ones actually go out and droop down. How cool is that? Extends back. See if I can get it to go back in here. Pretty awesome. Neat little detail. Pretty impressed with this. Again, I did not have a V1, so it's the first time I've seen one of these in person. So here's your hatch door. It's just got a little hook there and a couple magnets. Where you put your battery and your receiver. You guys can see back in this cavernous beast. And in the back here is your hatch. I don't want to pry on it, so we'll check that out once we plug in the receiver. So you've got your gear doors, plastic, all hard plastic. There's the tail where everything is going to go on. It's a pretty good sized model. I was looking at the little wing half, I'm like, yeah, that's not too big, but you know, once you get 2 of those and then, you know, put it on the fuse, she grows. It's a grower. So then you got clear canopy windows in the cockpit, so you could put a camera in there, be pretty cool. So lots of options. You got the windows in the sides here are clear, I see. Kind of neat. Yeah, that's all I've noticed so far. So let me clear off my table here and we'll get into the build. Alright, so assembly for me begins at the back here. So you'll use your horizontal spars, which on mine is 2 metal rods here. They will go into the fuse, into the appropriate channels. You'll have bolts. The longer one will be towards the cargo bay, so it'll be the forward one. The shorter one will be the back one. And that'll go into the rudder once you drop it in. But simply for the horizontal, you just line up the pieces and plug that baby in there. Bam. Now we'll put the rudder on, hook up the linkage, put the bolts in from the bottom. 2.5 millimeter is what you're going to need for those. I can see the unboxing portion of this video took a lot longer than it's going to take me to build this thing. And that's good. I'm happy with that. Thread that in there like such. So this servo, I noticed, is one thing they did different. Previously, I think it went through the bottom or something like that. So that's one of the new upgrades on this model. Oh, she's too long, hits the table. Now we'll put the bolts in from the bottom. So again, the shorter one goes in the back. The longer one goes in here. And I think if I drop it through there, it's going to fall into the cargo bay, so I might have to put the receiver in and get this open first, but we'll at least get the tail secured with this one for starters. Okay, it's snugging up. Don't want to put it too tight till we get the other one, so that's really about it for that for now. So let me get a receiver in here and we'll get that back bay open, because after you get this one in, then you put the wings on. Then it's the receiver. You got to do your linkages. Again, everything is labeled. Elevator linkage, they'll hook in, but I kind of want the radio powered up before I do that anyway, so I don't have to undo anything later. So let's do that and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so I chucked my receiver in here. I might need to Y the flaps, or I'm going to need a bigger receiver. I've got a 7-channel in here right now. So this has a BEC unit, which you'll need to plug into an auxiliary channel, but you can always take that and Y it in probably with, you know, the cargo door or the rudder or something, because the throttle channel, being it has so many motors, doesn't have, you know, the BEC to power the receiver. So there's a separate one for that. I just plugged it into the flap channel for right now since I don't have the wings on. That way I could get everything else powered up and going. You can't see, it's just out of frame here, but the tail light is on. I wanted to get that gear door open so that I could get in there to get that screw in. Got it, getting it set up on my IX-20 here. You can't see the elevator circles either. So I put on this slider, I put the door so I could get in there. The gear up. Gear down. So cool. And then it's sequenced. There is lights in front of the gears here that are on the doors. Pretty cool. Now we'll suck them up. Because I don't really need the gear out right now. I guess I could, but I've got my stand, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, so since we're going to work on the back here, now I can reach in that hole and put that other rudder bolt in and get that secured. So I'm going to button that up and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, so we got the tail done here. Show you what we got. Got the elevator linkages on. I did one hole down from the top. Seemed to still give me more throw than recommended. So that works great. I did do a little trick that Jeff Yang 7 did. He's got a great YouTube channel as well. So what you do is you'll take your linkage. Let me pop one out here. And you'll get it hot. I just use a torch like this. Don't get it red hot. You just got to get it hot enough to melt plastic, right? So I got it hot, figured the hole I want, and I stuck it in there and then pulled it back out, let it cool, and test fit it. I had to do it twice to get the hole just right, but made the hole. Usually I always did a drill, and you never have a drill that's the right size and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, use the part that fits in there. Pretty smart tip from Jeff there. And got that done. Then you can see here, I got the rudder on as well. The hole in the horn for that was big enough, so that went one hole in as well. And that's all done and adjusted and tightened down. So that's locked in. So the next thing is just the wings, really. So let me flip this bad boy around. We'll put the wings on it. Spar. Gonna need a spar. Spar goes in there like so. Wings. Again, simple. Plug in. I'm not going to put the screws in it for right now because I'll probably have to take it apart to transport. Get everything lined up, click it into place just like so. Do the other side. Bam. There we go. Wings are on. So now I'm going to hook up the battery again. Make sure the flaps and ailerons are going the right way and the motors work, and then we'll come back. Alright y'all, here's the belly of the beast. I got the ailerons hooked up and working. Used Jeff Yang's trick again, heat it up, shove it through. Second hole down gave me the perfect amount of throw, so then you've got good resolution. Now the interesting thing with the flaps, there is two separate wires for the flaps like I showed. Well, so you got the outboard and the inboards, and there's a reason they do that, because these ones have a different throw than these do, as you will see here. So that's flaps up, middle, full. Now you notice these won't go down enough to do the droop, to come out and droop. So if you don't want to buy an 8-channel receiver, you could probably just leave those in and not use them, or like it is now where they come back. I'm sure it won't hurt anything. I'm not sure what else you could do, but you'll have to use a bigger receiver to do that. So something to keep in mind. But again, you probably don't have to use those. So other than that, everything is good to go. Uh-oh. I need to program the ESCs yet. I did not do that. My bad. Now they'll be way off. Let me do that real quick. So, do they work now? They do work now. So, simply unplug that, full throttle, plug it back in, wait for that tone. Lower the throttle. It'll be all programmed. Some cool music right there. Now you notice when I plug it in, the flaps went up. So to fix that, guys, once you got everything going the right way, is do a rebind. And then once everything is set up and the radio is set up, and then you don't have to go through all that. One other thing about this plane, with the sequencer, I'll flip the gear up. They probably won't go, or will they? Let's see here. They won't. Whoop. You don't want to do that. See, it makes the doors mad. So let me show you the proper way to do that. The MiG had its own kind of unique sequence too. So you start your plane up for the first time of the day, turn your radio on, plug your battery in. I got to fix those with the rebind. So what you do is you flip your gear switch quick. So since my wheels are down, my gear switch is down, I'll flip it up, flip it back down because my gears are down. That way it knows where they're at. You'll have to do that every time you plug the battery in. Keep that in mind. Now it'll work every time. There goes the sequence. Piece of cake, guys. Just something to remember. Okay. I'll probably slow that down because that's kind of ridiculously fast. But that's all that's to it. I'm going to do a rebind. We do have a couple pieces here yet, so we're not quite done, but we're getting really close. One thing to mention, so on the rudder linkage and on the aileron linkage, the metal rods were a little bit too long for me, so I had to trim, maybe a 1/4 inch. Check yours before you trim it. Make sure your distance is right, because it wouldn't screw in enough to get these centered. So something to keep in mind for you. Now this piece here is for static display only. You do not want to do this in flight. So in the back of the cargo door here, you can install that so when you're on the ground, it's got like a loading ramp. I'll probably never use that, so I'm not going to do that. Now all these little scale bits, you've got some little pitot tubes and some other things. I'm going to go through the manual and figure out where they go. I see the 2 pitot tubes go here. Then you've got a hard plastic nose cone cover to go there. So once we get those things on, we'll show you. Oh, it says scale aerial and rain wiper. So there's some windshield wipers, which is pretty cool. One other little scale detail, guys, is for your drop tanks. You'll see here the front magnet and then the rear magnet. Well, you have to cut the decal to get this piece out. Just kind of fits in the groove. The decal is all that's holding it in there at the moment. Let's go right to there somewhere. And pop that out of the way. Now that piece won't stay in there now that you took that off, so you could always put a little magnet in there, but I'm all into scale details and extra bits, so that's how I'm going to roll. They're in there pretty good. Yeah, they're in there really good. Cool. I dig it. Propellers. So you got your back plate. That'll go on first. Then your propeller. So there's right and left turning. So you want the tops to turn in. So propeller goes on that way. Got to use the correct back plate that fits the curve of the prop. And you're going to put the long bolt in the spinner and start tightening her down. Just make it snug, you don't want to strip it. That's it, all the props are on. You'll see here on the top is where the flat blade went. On the top of the rudder here, you'll have to find the slots is under the decal, but those will go in there. On the nose, you'll see we've got the windshield wipers, we've got the pitot tubes, and the nose cone cover piece all in place. Got the drop tanks on. Yeah. Okay, I got the throws and rates set up to my liking. The propellers, I did balance all the propellers. You probably should balance yours too. You can balance them with the back plate and put the rod through them all and balance them all. That's good. The only thing I have not done was the CG, which says 50 to 60 millimeters back from the leading edge. I just got to secure my receiver and balance it. And I figured out these little white pieces, the small ones, will go in the front here. If you don't want to use these, you can fill that hole. But I like leaving stuff on. So other than that, we'll get those things ready and we'll hope for a nice day. It's been snowing and blowing here like crazy ever since summer. So it's been crazy with the weather. So like, comment, subscribe, follow the links down below in the description. If you got any questions, let me know. I answer them all as best I can. Hopefully we'll see you at the field. You're coming out.